What's going on, everybody? I'm Chad Reed, and this is Forge Mentality. Today's video is on women's expectations for dating and long-term relationships. It covers men a little bit too as well, but women have the keys for who they choose for sexual encounters and for dating. So this video is also going to apply mostly to women, just like most of my videos do, because there's really enough channels about men and things that they do wrong. And we could cover some of those things sometimes throughout all of our videos we do. But primarily, I find that women are the keepers for a lot of these things, and so that's why I feel it's more beneficial to speak to women. Before making this channel, about 6 months before this channel, I've probably started watching videos, like testimonies and things, few hundred hours worth of videos in those few months. And I noticed one common theme, that women's expectations aren't actually expectations. They're more of a list of demands. I think that's where a lot of the disconnect comes from. In the past, women's expectations were, is he nice? Is he friendly? Will he treat me well? Is he not an alcoholic or a drug abuser? Is he right up in his head? Is he good with kids? Is your family going to accept him and love him and take them in? And it was all about how he was going to treat you. Now it seems like the expectations have switched completely to pretty much exclusively to what is that man going to provide for you? What is he going to give to you? Men, in my estimation, are mostly viewed now as walking wallets. And that's what's creating this whole men versus women mentality that's going on. And while I can't give you all men's expectations of women, I'll give you my expectations of a woman. And you'll find that generally it's very accurate to a great deal of men's expectations. However, the higher up the beauty ladder that you climb, the expectations may become greater. But they're always obtainable things in regards for men's expectations to women. If they're looking for a relationship that could turn into a marriage, they're going to want to know, can you cook or clean? Can you take care of kids or like kids? They are going to have a hygienic expectation. I don't like women who stink at all, right? So you got to take showers and baths and things. But they're all normal expectations. Are you friendly? Do you take care of yourself? You don't have to hit the gym and do Pilates and yoga every single day and all that kind of stuff. But you just can't be lazy. If you're lazy, then you're gonna be most likely with dudes who are also lazy. That's fair. If we're talking equality, let's be equal about it, right? That's what you deserve. If you're lazy, you deserve somebody who's lazy. But if you're a go-getter, you should probably deserve a go-getter. And a big one is body count. They want to make sure that you don't have enough, too many bodies. Because the more men that you've been with, the less likely the next man you're going to be with is going to be the last man you're going to be with. It just makes common sense, right? Think about it. If you've been with 25 guys, who's to say you're going to stop at 26? Why would you? Most likely you'd be looking for 27 and 28, maybe have 29 somewhere in the background. But that's what men look for. They don't want a woman who's been around. Because once they commit to you, they want to make sure that you're committed to them the same. But these are all reasonable expectations, or at least they used to be. Apparently now it's a huge problem when men have expectations of women. But women are allowed to have all the expectations in the world of men, right? But women are the prize, correct? Is that the way life works now? Women are the prize, but men have to do way more to get them. The most common expectations, and I call them demands because they're demands. If it's something that people can't help, then they're more demands. Like, the biggest ones, 6 foot or taller. Okay, we're going to go ahead and look these up. But 6 foot or taller, they have to make 100K or more. They have to have a 6-inch dick or bigger. Sometimes I hear shoe size. It has to be like It has to be like an 11, 12, 13, something like that, right? Because shoe size equates to anything. It's a myth. But you notice that these things are all, you know, has to do with things that a man can't help. Generally, a man is not going to be able to help how tall he is, or what his foot grows into, or what his genetics provide for him downstairs. That's like if a dude is like, oh no, you're perfect for me, but you don't have 36 Ds. Even though the average is 36C, you don't have 36 Ds, and so I'm not even going to talk to you. That's the maybe men who are tens, nines, tens in the looks department, and not even just the looks department, the financial department, and all these other things that would go with that. Might be okay for them, but every other man would be shamed into oblivion for saying those types of things. She can't be 4'11" and 317 plus pounds and think she's a queen and looks fabulous because all the echo chambers that she's around make sure they reinforce that, and so she feels that. Men, that's not going to happen. Women control relationships, and women control who they have sex with, because men control who ultimately they marry. That's the way it works. Women have the pick of the litter essentially for who they're going to date. The higher up the beauty scale, the more choices you have. But generally speaking, at every single level, women are able to have rosters of men, because men don't get to choose who they date, generally speaking, unless they're very high up on the looks department. Back to my points, let's go ahead and look up all those factors that I've already said that women look for. Let's start out with the height. 6 foot and above. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and use Google. What percentage of the men in the world are 6 foot tall or higher? There we go. Nearly 12% of the people all around the world are 6 foot tall. That's people. The average height of men in the world is 5'6.5". Really? I thought it would be taller than that. According to women who they think everybody must be 6 foot tall, apparently. 5'6.5". In the Philippines, it's 5'3". What height do women consider tall? 6 feet and above. Usually men who are 6 feet above are considered tall, but 6 feet is often considered the borderline area between short and tall. But does this mean that all men under 6 feet are short? Obviously not, as there is a good range of height in between that is completely decent, like 5'5" to 5'11". Considering the averages in the world, 5'3" or shorter would be considered a short man. So you have a huge range there of men that you're discounting for no reason. That's silly. All right, look at this. What percentage of men are 6'2" or taller? 3.9%. Just 3.9% of men are 6'2" or taller. Okay, and I've heard women say they want someone who's 6'4", 6'5". This craziness. It's like you guys don't understand math or reality. I don't know what else to say. Just 0.7% of in the U.S. women are 5'10" or taller. So if I want a woman who's 5'10", that's only 0.7% of the United States. These are ridiculous things. No man does that. That's just women who do that. You're getting rid of so many people. You're just discounting them just off of their height. Like, okay, I can understand if you're one of these 5'10" women and the dude's like 5'2", 5'3", but why wouldn't it be about what he is inside, his personality, his determination and drive, the things that actually freaking matter in life? Like, are you worried about going to amusement parks and getting on all the rides or something? Is that what the height thing's about? But, I mean, I can understand that ideally you would like a taller guy, but I don't understand why, completely discounting guys who are shorter than that, because then you're, like it says, you're only dealing with 14% already. Okay? That's before you go to any of your other requirements that you have. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the 100K requirement, shall we? What percentage of men make 100K or more per year? According to the IRS, 1.8. Really? I thought it was maybe a little bit better than that. Okay, these are all over the place. Oh, that's based off of U.S. cities where... Okay, I see. It's just giving me a little preview. Sorry, I'm new to the internet apparently. Oh, look at this one. This is household income. So 11% of U.S. houses make between 35 to 50K. That's the household. So that's both, right? Total. Okay? 16.2%, 50 to 75K. Total. 75 to 100K, 11.9% total. Okay? So finding a partner that makes as much as a total household, come on. All right, so 17% of working American men aged 15 and older made six figures or more in 2021. And the higher you get away from that 15, the better that percentage would be. That's what would make up most of that percentage, because obviously when you're younger, you have less, and then you have to work your way up as a man. That's the way it works. So let's see here. Official data shows there were a total of 131,389 working American men aged 15 and above during the year under review. Out of these, 22,619, which is 17.2%, made 100K or more. Statistics also show a total of 66,369 men worked full-time year-round. So if you're going to have any type of salary requirements on your man, you can't also have time requirements. If you have both of those requirements, do you understand how that's a conflict against each other? But yet women do have those. And this Google portion of the video is going to be a little bit make the video a little bit longer, so bear with me. I'm trying to edit it as little as possible because I want you to see these searches as I'm doing them. And you could do them yourself. You know, you see the search terms. You could do it yourself and look it up if you like. So the next one after that, so we got 14% are 6 foot and above. And then 17% make 100K or more. Okay, so how many of that 17% do you think you're going to find within that 14%? In other words, have both of those qualities. Okay, and then let's go to your next quality, which is dick size. Let's see. What's the average size of a dick in the United States?
According to NCBI, based on previous studies about the distributions of penis length and circumference, the average American erect penis length was estimated as 6 inches and circumference as 5 inches.
Okay. I'm on the upside of that, but you know, that seems fine. That seems fine to me. I do believe that 6 inches is it's probably a rounded up number, I imagine. Okay, here's one from Healthline. It says 5.1 to 5.5. Yeah, I was thinking somewhere near that 5.5 probably. But either way, whatever. We're not talking about me. I got that shit beat, so I don't fucking care. But okay, so a guy who has above average, or in the top one's case, average, whatever. If that's average, it's average. I don't think it is. I think it's closer to that 5. And each nationality, it's actually kind of negligible, even though the stereotype is black men traditionally are, but their average size is actually still, it's just a bit higher than others. But either way, though, I mean, I don't think you should be judging a dude just off of that, right? Like, if the dude's not, like, super nice, he's super intelligent, maybe, you know, he dresses well and he looks pretty good, but if he had a small thing, you would tell him piss off? I mean, I guess some of you probably would. I mean, I don't really think it's right, but most of you probably would. I don't know. And I mean, I'm guessing the shoe size thing where it has to be like a 10 or 11 or 12, whatever. And you want to equate that to the penis size. And then the height thing, probably because the guy's taller, you think he has a bigger. But it's not necessarily true. I'm letting you know that. That's not necessarily true. But if it is all just about the size of their junk, then why not that be the guide that you go for? And that's it. Let's just have a society of, the dudes with the bigger schlong are the ones in control. But what would be the equivalent for women in that case? The women with bigger boobs are in control? Natural boobs. Yeah, let's move on. All right. So since the requirement for the penis is 6 inches, is what the common thing is. 6 foot, 6-figure income, 6-pack, 6-inch penis. That's the rule. What percentage of men have a 6-inch penis or bigger?
According to Everyday Health, about 16% of men have an erect penis size longer than 6.1 inches, and of those only 2.5% are over 6.9 inches. About 16% of men have an erect penis size that's shorter than 4.5 inches, with only 2.5% of those under 3.7 inches.
All right. That's pretty cool. So you actually have a very small chance of finding somebody with a really tiny one. 16% of men have one that's longer than 6.1. So that means clearly the average can't be 6 then, if only 16% have over 6.1. Okay, so you have 14% of men are 6 foot tall and above. And then you want the 100K salary and above. Okay, that's it. That was an even smaller portion. What was that? I think it said 7% or 8%. Okay. And then 16% of men have a penis bigger than 6.1 inches. So then you're cutting that fraction even fucking smaller. You're slicing the shit out of that fraction. So really, if all of you ladies, or not all of you, excuse me, most of you ladies are chasing men in those proportions, that means those ladies, that's what I meant by all of those ladies are chasing the same little fraction of men. So those are the men who are able to have the rosters, okay, of all of the ladies potentially who have rosters, right? Because there's 3s and 4s and 2s out there and shit that have rosters, right? The only men who have those types of rosters fit into all of those diced up categories and fit into each one of those. And it's a very, very small selection of men. And that's it. That's how you know women cheat more than men. Because there's a very small portion of men that fit into that category. And those are the men that are able to have the orbiting women. But women, by default, have a bunch of orbiting men. Right? There's women out there that I know personally, who, that aren't into sex work, that have had 4, 5, 6 dudes in a day, 10 in a weekend. Very, very small percentage of dudes are able to do that. A very small percentage of dudes. That's why I say dudes have to build their value. Women are born with their value. You're given the crown and the scepter. Dudes, no. Most of us are invisible. And the longer time goes on, the higher women's requirements get from rational, sane, actual, logical things that are real in real life to this crazy, whatever the hell it is now. The further away that gets, the smaller the fraction's going to get, and the more women are going to be after the less men. It's going to get even less and even less and even less. And some of you have requirements that no man in existence meets. doesn't make sense. I wish it wasn't like this. It doesn't have to be like this. And I know there's a lot of you ladies out there who aren't like this. But the thing is, there's a whole hell of a lot that are. And that's I feel like that's a problem. That's why dudes are just going overseas looking for women. It's my daughter in the background. You know, maybe you can relax some of those crazy requirements, because you know the dudes that you want to smash you out don't have those requirements. You don't put those requirements on those guys. Just the guys who actually want to be with you. Just the guys who actually love you and care about you and want the best thing for you. Make it make sense to me, please. I wish you could. Alright, so here's a peer-reviewed article reviewed by a doctor. What's the average penis size? Probably smaller than you think. I've not read this article or anything yet. I just pulled it up here. We're reading it together. A lot of guys have some anxiety about the size of their penis, but statistically speaking, most guys have an average size penis. How big is that? Probably not as big as you think. Alright. Average penis length and girth. A 2015 research review found that the average erect penis size is 5.17 inches long. The average erect girth is 4.59. Flaccid, it does. We don't care about that. We're erect. So 5.1 is the average. Okay. So why then do most men think the average penis size is more than 6 inches long? We can thank a researcher named Alfred Kinsey for that. He and his colleagues published a report in the 1960s that claimed that the average penis size was over 6 inches. And unfortunately, that problematic number has buried itself deep in our psyche. After more extensive research on the topic, we now know that it was an overshoot by 20% more than the actual number. So how many guys have 7 inches or more? It's rare. Super rare. How rare is it? According to the available research, just 1 in 100 guys have a penis that measures between 7 and 8 inches erect. Numerous studies have found that Kinsey's original estimate of 6 inches is around a full inch longer than the average. While we'll take his findings with a grain of salt, Kinsey's other research showed that extremely large penises, 7 to 8 inches, are exceedingly rare. In fact, the original Kinsey penis size survey found that only 1% of men have a penis between 7 and 8 inches. 6 in 1,000 or 0.6% have a 9-inch penis, and just over 0.2% of guys have a penis larger than 9 inches. That's 2 people in 1,000. Up to 90% of male penises are within an inch of the average size either way. Statistically speaking, that means most guys have a normal sized penis. All right. Wow. That taught me some things too. And I'm a rare fella. No, I'm just kidding. I just like having fun, man. This stuff is grim sometimes, you know. I don't know. I just like having fun. Hopefully you guys appreciate these videos, though. I appreciate you all for watching. You can see how ridiculous this stuff is. If you have all these requirements at the same time for the same person, it's just not. It's just, you're 2 in 1,000. Like, if your requirement is a dude to have over 9 inches, that's 2 in 1,000. And then you still have the 100K requirement on top of that, or a 6-pack ab requirement on top of that, or, you know what I'm saying? So that's why most of you ladies who have these requirements, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to be met. It's not going to work. It's not going to work long term. It might work short term, but those dudes who have those requirements are just looking at you for bedroom fun. Because, you know, you got to do something to level yourself up to, you know, I guess deserve a dude of those requirements. If that's what you want as your requirements, you got to do something. You can't just exist. You know, you get dudes already by the truckload just for existing. But those dudes are the dudes who are invisible to you. The dudes who are in your groupings. Your equivalent, or even you're slightly 1 point above. I mean, you know, I feel like if you're shooting up, you're shooting up, right? So if you're getting a dude who's a point above you, but some of you are thinking, you're going to get a dude who's 5, 6 points above you, 4 points above you. Like, you got to do something. You got to do something for that. So these requirements are very unrealistic, and they're not even your only requirements. They're just your main ones. You have smaller ones. You do. And as you get older, you acquire more requirements. Except for the dudes who are hitting it raw. Those dudes don't have those requirements. You know? And more guys are just saying, man, forget all that nonsense. I don't want to be part of that. You require me to be 6'4", make 125K. Come on. It's not real. It's not attainable. It's just not. You'll find dudes with some of these requirements, but they ain't going to have all of them. And you're going to have 10, 20, 30 more requirements on top of that. And dudes have like 3 requirements. Really. You take care of yourself. You're nice, or agreeable, peaceful, however you want to say it. And you're fun to be around. No dude wants to come home to just a drama-filled disaster. That's just it. Nobody. Why? Like out there, out in the real world. That's where all that crap stays, man. Just you want to come home to peace. Like, you don't want to dread coming home. I've dated women before. It's like, oh God, why couldn't I have just gotten overtime this week? I just want to stay at work. I don't want to, why do you want to feel like that? Come on, man. Whatever, man. I'm out of here.